I'd say this is mid-morning, beautiful day. I like to start with a weather report. You never know who might want to know what kind of weather we're having here in Lexington, Kentucky. It's getting cold, folks, and I don't like wintertime like I should because I'm very cold-natured. They haven't turned the heat on in our condominium yet, I don't think, unless I just don't know how to work the thermostat, and I'll have to admit sometimes I don't know how to work it. Don't have anything special to tell today. You know I'm running short on good stories. I like to think I have a few good stories. I'll just talk about what Jan and I did yesterday. We went to Costco. That's where I bought my hearing aids. And before I get started on that, I know what you're looking at. You see my new glasses, don't you? I like these new glasses. I said, Jan, I need a new pair of reading glasses. I want a pair that are animal print with large lenses. And that's just what I got. And they are working just fine. So you're going to see me wearing this pair, you know. But that discounts the pair that's on their way here. I don't know what they look like, but I have a feeling they're going to be the glitzy ones. You know, I like the glitzy one too. In fact, I would never been wearing my first pair of glitzy glasses if it hadn't been for Jan, because that's what she was wearing. And one day I said, I really like those glasses. I want some. So she ordered a pair for me. And that was the beginning of Granny Pat glitzy glasses. I like them though. I think you like them. And if that's the only thing I can use to make me look good, I'm going to buy more pairs of glitzy glasses. Yeah, just for you. Okay. We went to Costco because that's where I bought my hearing aids about last March, February, March, I guess it was. And I was trying to figure out how to change the filters, and you know, your earwax gets in those little filters, what have you, and I was trying to figure that out, and I was having a little trouble. That was night before last. Got an appointment to go see Nick. Nick was the young man that was servicing me at Costco Hearing Aid Center. And I will say he's a terrific fellow. He's so much fun. He says the funniest thing. He makes you feel good about your situation. Excuse me. So, we get to Costco. It was so cold and so windy, and I thought, whew, I can't take much of this. Somebody's going to have to invite me down to Florida for the winter. I'm sure somebody has an extra bed and bath that they can spare for a month or two, because I'm getting in the mood for that. I've never been in Florida but 2 or 3 times, and well, one time I was there for 2 or 3 weeks, and I have a grandson that lived there, but you know, you don't wait for invitations. If you do, you're going to be waiting a long time. So anyhow, back to my hearing aids. He did a lot of explaining and telling me about the filters and the wax in your ears and what to do for this and that, and had a little, you know, like a bottle brush, what a bottle brush looked like. Well, think of that bottle brush about that long, that tiny, And that goes inside your, I don't want to take my hearing aid out, but you go through this little hole and it cleans the wax out. Oh my gosh, I didn't know there was that much wax in my ears. It's just a little string of wax that comes out. Got that taken care of, and he's laughing at me the whole time. I'm telling him my predicament and how I lost one of the filters on the carpet. Do you know how big those filters are? Well, consider if I just had a toothpick. You know what the end of a toothpick looks like? That little point? That's the same size as your filter. And I dropped that on the floor. Well, he just died laughing when I was describing me being down on my knees hunting a filter. I found it, though. I found it. Anyway, got that situation taken care of. I'm hearing better. My eyes are seeing better. Now, if I can just get some pretty white teeth, I need to go to the dentist and have my teeth cleaned. Sometimes we just put these things off. And that's basically it. So, now and then I go through the YouTube channels, check to see if there's anything that interests me, any subject matter. You know, you got to have a title when you do your story or whatever it is you're putting on your YouTube channel. Now, you know I've been on here 3.5 years. Gosh, that time flew by. When I started, I have to tell you about when I started. I didn't know anything about YouTube. That's just as plain as I can put it. But there was Jan and there was Jessica, daughter and granddaughter. They decided Granny Pat needs something to occupy her time. She's got too much free time and nothing to do. We're going to give her a YouTube channel. Me with a YouTube channel, and I don't even know what you do with it. Well, Jessica said, I've set it up for you. Oh my goodness, I'll never learn it. I don't know the terminology. All those things, I ran across one, listicles. Have you ever heard that word before? Listicles. That's quick tips that people give you on how to do certain things. You gotta have a title. What kind of title? Is it a title you use every time you put something on your channel? It's a channel, you know, YouTube channel. Yeah, that's what I've got. And Jan and Jessica decided Chit Chat with Granny Pat would be my channel title. I guess that's what you call a title. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard of. Well, they laughed. It's perfect, Granny Pat. It's perfect for you. They'll love it. I thought that is so silly. A YouTube channel, Chit Chat with Granny Pat. I don't even feel like a grandma. They said, you're going to tell stories. You are going to tell your stories. You've been telling them for years now. It's time somebody else besides the family got to hear them. Okay. Now I'm just giving you a little rundown on how I got on YouTube. Didn't know beans about what to do next. Let's see, what were some of the, I could go on and on. Thumbnails. Why do I need a thumbnail? Somebody said, you gotta have thumbnails. Hire somebody to create thumbnails for you. I'm not hiring anybody to do anything. This is my channel. Whatever gets on it comes from me, whether it's good, whether it's bad. What you see is what you get. Yeah, you already know that. How do you think I got 550 stories on YouTube without having something to say? You think I'm kidding? No, I'm not kidding. You can go back and see my very first video. It was done in the kitchen. Of all things I didn't want to do was cook. I didn't want to be providing recipes because I live alone. What kind of cooking would I be doing for thousands of people when I live alone and I cook for myself? A lot of my cooking is done through the drive-through window at McDonald's and places like that. All I want's a hamburger and some fries, and they can produce them quicker and easier than I can. Yeah, you really want to watch me cook? Well, you've got to go back. You've got to watch my #1 video. First one. Didn't have anybody here to help me at all. So I was making strawberry trifle. I was anxious to get that over with. My kitchen's little. See, I live in a condo, and I don't have much space. I don't have a studio. You're looking at my studio. You're looking at me in my new robe. I didn't see any point in getting dressed just for one little video. You wouldn't notice unless I told you. So I'm telling you, this is my new robe. It's got little designs on it. Bought it at Dillard and got it on sale. You're the first one to get to see it. Now, if I get off track, I'll forget what I was going to talk about. I've been watching the how-tos. They're telling me how you're supposed to do this and how you're supposed to do that. I don't know what they're talking about. I just want to tell a story. Why do I need a thumbnail? Hire somebody to create thumbnails for me? All I'm doing is telling stories. And titles. Well, let's see. What would I call this one? What would you call this title? What I'm doing? Oh, Granny Pat got a new robe. She bought it at Dillard's. Is that a good title for a story? I don't think so. Nobody cares whether I've got on a new one or an old one, just as long as I'm fully dressed. Wish I could get the glare off these glasses. See, I had to squat because the window in front of me is bringing in all that sunlight and it's settling on the lens of my glasses. So I squat so that you don't see them. You don't mind, I'm sure, as long as I get the story told, which I haven't even gotten to yet. The how-tos. You got a lot of how-tos on YouTube. How do you do this and how do you do that? Do I need to know all those things? Well, if I do, I'm going to be falling far short. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm just going to tell stories. You got to make a list. Quick tip. Listicle, that one just threw me right out the window. listicles. Who came up with a word like that? Quick tips. The only quick tip I can give you are be sure and watch Granny Pat's videos. She talks about a lot of different things. She's not too smart, but she's not dumb either. In fact, I'm one of what they call your elderly citizens. I am 89 years old. Got it right now. I remember that. I'm 89 years old. Still got a little bit of it up here. But let's go back to the strawberry trifle. My very first video. Wow, I finished it. So those trifles looked just wonderful. I had a good story there. I sat down, gonna watch it. I turned it on. Nothing happened. Nothing. I didn't have a video. It didn't record. Now you talk about a disappointment. My very first YouTube video that was going to set the internet on fire didn't record. And I had to do it all over again. It's on my list. Number 1, strawberry trifle. Make sure you watch it. You're going to like it. And it comes in so handy at Christmas and Valentine's Day because any dessert that's made in red and white works. Whether it's good or not, it works because it's red and white. That's it for my first video. Some of my, cohorts like to explain things to you. They like to tell you what you need to do to be on YouTube. Don't do that to me, 'cause I can't remember the last time I followed a full list of instructions for anything. I'm a crafty person, been working with arts and crafts my whole life. But don't give me a list of instructions on how to use this tool and when to do this and what this is and how long you have to turn it. Don't do that to me because I ain't gonna read it. Hate instructions. It's pick it up, play by ear, figure it out for yourself. And if I can't figure it out the first time around, it doesn't get a second chance. I'm not spending my time on trying to figure out somebody else's instructions. It either works or it doesn't work. I'm 89, like I told you. So I've seen a lot of things handmade. You've seen a few handmade things that I've made yourself. So you know that you just get in there with both hands, you go to work, and you get the job done. That's how I work. Let's see. Be better if I could see what I'm reading. This came to mind while I was deciding what to put on this video. It's a hard road to travel and a mighty long way to go. Yes, it has been a hard road to travel. And it was a long ride, a long way to go to get me where I am now. I am the creator of Chit Chat with Granny Pat. Now, I didn't approve of the title, but it worked. Who would have dreamed somebody would be attracted to a video called Chit Chat with Granny Pat? It worked. And before I knew it, this is the funny part. A lot of these words, you're supposed to know what to do, and it gives you the description of what it means. I didn't learn them all. One of them I didn't check was monetize. What do you do when you monetize? Do you know that I was on YouTube a year and a half before I knew what to do with that word, monetize? Yep, took me a year and a half to know that I could make money off of my stories. Now, that wasn't my intention in the beginning. My intention was to keep myself busy. Old ladies like me don't get out much. In fact, my driving days are almost over. There aren't that many places to go, and to tell you the truth, there aren't that many friends to be had. Your friends are gone. My sisters are gone, all except 2 of them. Well, actually, I had 6 sisters. So that means 4 are gone, and there's 3 of us left. And I talk about them now and then too, but I have to be careful because they read and watch my videos, and you can get in big trouble if you don't say the right thing about your sister. You ought to know that if you've got a sister. Okay. Yes, I needed something to keep me busy. And Jan and Jessica said, you're always telling stories about your life. You're full of stories. Now's your chance to tell them to everybody else. Now's your chance for people to enjoy the stories you can tell about being a little girl, about the days that you were in high school, the jobs you've had, the places you've been, especially the places I've been. And you know what? I was retirement age before I started my travels. Finally got to travel. And I've told a lot of stories. There's still more to be told. And from the responses I get, I think you do enjoy my stories. I was very surprised when I saw that my old-time stories not only related to the elderly like myself, the elderly who could relate to the things I was telling, and they could remember when they waded in the creek. They can remember hoeing in the garden with Grandma and Grandpa. They can remember dipping water from a well and getting to ride horseback. Now that's one I can't tell, because I never did ride a horse, never learned to ride a horse. But my mother did. My mother rode the Tennessee Walkers. Her mother rode the thoroughbred horse. Nobody touched her thoroughbred horses. She had 2 of them. She's the only one that got to ride them. So there's a story there, you know. Always something interesting. I can tell you about driving down the road and looking up at Sand Cave. Yeah, you can see them. Mountaintop across, this is in Ewing, Virginia. That's where my mother and my dad grew up. Ewing, Virginia, and Claiborne County, Tennessee. The borderline went right down the middle of the farm. That's also another story. I can tell you about the cemeteries. Oh, land, there's so many subjects that I've already covered in over 500 stories. Not doing bad, I don't think. I've got over 38,000 subscribers. I don't know how important that is. I try not to weigh on that because what I do have and what I do pay attention to are my viewers. The viewers that talk to me. The viewers that tell me how much they enjoy my stories. The elderly ladies who can tell me they remember what I'm talking about. They did that too. The young men. I never thought anybody younger than 60 years old would be interested in anything I tell, but they are. They really are. Because a lot of them were just like me. They didn't have any grandparents. They didn't have someone to tell them the family stories and the family history. So they turned to Granny Pat. I am a grandmother to thousands of adopted children. I call them adopted because they have been adopted by Granny Pat. So, I don't know how much more I can tell you in this video, except I wish you'd been there with me and Jan yesterday when we were talking to Nick, and I'm trying to describe my hearing aid troubles with him, and he reared back in his chair laughing. And the next thing I look, Jan's got her hand over her mouth, and she's laughing too. So obviously, I can be funny. Give me a chance. You're going to find a few funny stories. Oh my gosh. The time I went to North Carolina on a shopping spree with my friend. It's on a buyer's shopping spree. I can't tell you the title of that story, but if you start scrolling down through the titles, sometimes the titles don't even tell you what my story is about. Many of them are funny. There are a few sad stories. These sad stories were very difficult to tell, but I felt they needed to be told. They were so real. And I know many of you people who have had losses in your family. You can relate to my sad stories. Don't want to push them on you. But I think if you do watch what I tell, there are lessons to be learned. And you won't forget. In the kitchen, you don't stick to doing too many fancy dishes for one person. My fancy dishes come at Thanksgiving, Christmas, maybe Easter. Ordinarily, we go out to eat on Easter because I've been going to the big mega church with Jessica. Jessica was employed by this mega church. She has now moved on up, and she has a very good job. I wish I could explain to you. It would take too much knowledge and too much time to explain her new job. But she explained a little bit of it in a video a few nights ago when she came to my house. We had leftovers for dinner, and she told my public, I call you my public, my children, my grandchildren. That's what you are. And I have come to know you personally. It's amazing the picture I have in my mind of what you look like. I've met a few of you. You've come from other states just to meet me. Now, you'll have to admit that's something that you can brag about. That's something I brag about. My viewers wanting to meet me in person. So far, so good. Jan says she's going to give me a birthday party on my 90th birthday. Now, if you're watching, write it down on your calendar. May 1st, 2026, Granny Pat's birthday. I don't want you to forget, because if that party comes around, that means I'm still alive. Don't you think my hair looked good today? I just grabbed that comb. There it is. But I think what makes it look good, my new tortoise shell glasses. Wait till you see the new ones coming in. They should be here in a few days. And I'll probably wear them as soon as they get here. You've seen my new robe. What else can I tell you? Oh, I'll show you this. You've seen this before, but isn't he the sweetest thing ever was? Anna Lee, little, I'll say, Jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lantern. How's that for a name? Isn't he cute? He makes you smile. Just look at those bright eyes. I hope when you look at him, you can smile. It'll give you a reason to. And the other reason for smiling is Granny Pat's new glasses. So thank you for watching. And if I've left anything out, you can ad-lib a little to the story if you'd like. I don't mind at all, just as long as it's feasible that it could be true. And I'm not going to try to teach you anything about how to have a YouTube channel. You're on your own. I had to work through it. The girls got me started, and then they backed off and said, you're on your own. What can I say? I don't recommend myself as a teacher. No, that will never happen. But I will say, if you reach a slump in your life, you don't know what to do, where to go, how to find something satisfying in life, try setting up a YouTube channel. Find someone that's knowledgeable that will help you. You definitely need help. There's no question about that. And don't get discouraged. Oh, I've been discouraged many times. I've reached the point I've looked at the screen and saying, I don't know what to do now. And I've thought, I'll just close it down and I'll never open it again. But the next day, it's a new day. And I feel better. So I get back on YouTube and I tell a story. That's all it takes. Doesn't take much to tell a story. I like humor in my stories. I will have to admit this. If I could be a stand-up comedian like Jean Robertson was, she was fantastic. In fact, when I listened to her, I would think, she tells the kind of stories I would tell. But she's gone now. And I just go with what I know. I want to make you happy. Because you see, I wasn't very happy when I started this channel. That's the reason those two girls got together and said, Granny Pat needs a YouTube channel. She needs to tell people her stories. She's got hundreds of stories to tell. Get on YouTube. Go to Chit Chat with Granny Pat. Start reading at number 1, 2, 3, 4. Just read 1 or 2 at a time. And the last thing I want to remind you of, and I'm always forgetting this, I've got 3 books. Where are they? I don't have them lying here handy. Oh, wait a minute. Here's 2 over here. I'll show you the first 2. You've seen them before, but I want to remind you again. Here we go. Wait till you hear this one. See whose name's at the bottom of this page? See how many pages there are there? Whoops, what is that? Oh, this is a little postcard, a handmade postcard. And I hope the lady that made this and sent it to me is watching. Isn't that the cutest thing? That's a handmade postcard. Look, it was with another one. And her little note is on the back. Dearest Granny Pat. Leave it right in there as a bookmark. But as you can see, I've got a few black and white pictures. It costs too much to, let's see what that picture is. I can't even see with my new glasses. Oh, well. Ah, here's one. This is when I lived in Tennessee. Take a close look. See that little house with the gingerbread trim above the porch? That house was built about 1920. Just 105 years old now. But I love the characteristics about that house. And this story has to do with the house. That's the first book I did. Here is the second one. Why is it called Hold It, Lord, Hold It? Look at the person on the cover. What is she doing? Telling stories. Can't you tell? She was telling a story. That's a number of years ago when I did that. But I created the title. Well, actually, Jan created the title. Didn't know what to call the second book. Hold it, Lord, hold it. I'm not finished yet. In case you don't understand, I had more stories to tell. The first book had 100 stories. This one has 73. 173 stories are written in these 2 books right here, short stories. Then somewhere around here is my cookbook. You've seen it too. Oh, it's over on the bookshelf over there, but it's called Make Mine the Blue Plate Special. It has a story behind it too. You can order any of those 3 books on Amazon. And some of the stories I tell you come from these books. Thank you for watching me this morning. It's sort of a trial and error thing when you start a video and you don't know what it's going to end with. You can buy glasses like this on Amazon, you know, if you like them. And I'm going to be wearing these a lot because I can see better. I can read better. And that's the next ordeal. Got to get these eyes examined. The hair is turning white. Can you see? Look how white it is right here. My mother's hair was not this white when she died at 101. My mama kind of liked me. She thought I was special, and I think that's because I was raising 2 children without a husband. You know how mamas can be. So much for that. Jack and I say, have a good day. It's been fun, and I hope to see you here again. Thank you.